Okay, so today we're going to do more marble races. We're going to get started in a moment. Okay, so today we're going to do more marble races. Yeah, I keep doing that. Okay. We're going to get started in a moment. Just pulling up the game now. And once it loads, we're going to go and start. All right, we're just about up. So I'm going to come over into the game. And we'll be starting in one moment. So Q, are you ready to race? I think it's just us two to start. But we'll be, hopefully more will join us later. All right, let's go ahead and get started. It looks like our first race is going to be... Yeah, let's do that. Okay, exclamation point play to get your marble into the race. And let's take a look. So first we're going to roll into the funnel, and the funnel comes out onto two possible paths that then join up, and then we go into this section where there's two curlicue side paths and one straighter middle path. And then we'll come up to this bumper thing. We'll go down the spirals. We'll come down these sections. We'll come to another bumper. And then another bumper. And then we'll go down these two paths into the basket at the end. So let's go back to the start. Let's go ahead and... Right now it's just us two, so I'm going to go ahead and start the race. I'm not going to waste much time. Let's go here. All right, the countdown has begun. And now we're going to watch the drop. And we're going to start by rolling into the funnel here. And it's anybody's game who's going to go in the funnel first, but it looks like Q is headed straight for the hole. Looks like Q is significantly farther down. Yeah, and Q is going to come out of the hole first, coming down the side path. Well, there are only side paths for this one. Evie's stuck in the tunnel. And Uncle Evie is going to go down the other path. Meanwhile, Q is going to come out of this first set of paths first. And then he's going to go down, Q is going to go down the side path. And Uncle is still stuck behind. Q is going to go down the spiral. It looks like Uncle Evie got the straight path. But now Uncle Evie has to go down this little curvy path here. And as we come up to the first bumper, it's anyone's game here. Q slightly in the lead. Q almost rolling off the edge there, but he stayed up. And Uncle taking the lead into the spirals. Q seems to be stuck a little past the bumper, but he's going to come down on this and chase Evie on the spiral. And Uncle's going to come out of the spirals first as we go into this bumper area. And Uncle will straight past the spinning bumper as we come down to the second one. And Uncle goes straight past that one. And he's going to come down the side path. And Uncle is going to land in the basket first. Now we'll come back and see where Q is. Where'd Q go? Q is on the path to go into the basket as well. Alright. That was a good race. Let's get the next track going. Alright, this one's called Mountain Mingle. Exclamation point play to get your marble in the race. Alright. So we have here a Plinko. So it looks like once we come down out of the Plinko, we have these swingy thingies. And then it looks like paths that go up into elevators and spirals. Once we come down these paths, they'll fall into this little bumper area. And now I'm not having trouble making sense of where the track is going. So give me a moment to figure this out. So you come down off these paths into the bumper, and then you come down here into this path here, and then into the basket. But it looks like there's other side areas you could get lost in as well. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. There's other side paths it looks like. We'll just have to run it and see what happens. Alright, let's go ahead and start the race. Alright, we're going to come down into the Plinko. Looks like there's elevators into the Plinko. And Q is going to straight shot down to the bottom of the Plinko. And Uncle has a close second. But Q is gaining some speed as we go into the swingers. Game is still close. Both racers cleanly through the swingers, going into opposite spiral elevators here. It's anyone's game right now. Both coming around their bends. Uncle just a little bit faster right now as we head into the spirals. But Q is in a close second right now. We're going into the spirals. It's hard to say who's going to come out first. And Uncle is onto the straight track first. But Q is close behind. It's hard to get a gauge for who's ahead when they're on different tracks. But they're both moving pretty quickly. And Uncle's going to drop into the bumper first. And then through the spinner. Q stuck in the spinner for a little bit there. Uncle's going to come around. And Uncle's going to speed around the wheel. Q just out of the spinner. Uncle's going through the second gate. And he's going to climb the elevator into the straightaway. Q a little bit behind, but straight through the gate. And Uncle is going to speed through. And Uncle is going to drop into the abyss, which means Q has a chance to actually win this thing. Looks like Q fell into the abyss too. We were both thrown. Q survived longer, so by default, we'll consider Q the winner. Let's get ready for the next race. Alright, this one's called Shattered Dreams. Alright, so we're going to come down the Plinko. We're going to come on these divided tracks here. If you're lucky, you'll be on the straight shot and go down the straight. If you're unlucky, you'll end up on one of these top tracks. Either way, you'll hit some bumpers and some spinners, and then eventually you'll end up down here with another split track. And then we'll go past some, it looks like some bumpers, and then some more bumpers, the dangerous kind, into the basket. Q, what's our current follower count look like? I mean our viewer count. Okay, let's go ahead and get this race started. We're going to start with the Plinko. Wow. It's anyone's guess who's going to... And Uncle drops onto the track, but he drops sideways, so he lost a little bit of time. Q in hot pursuit. And they're both going to go down the same tracks, which will make following a little bit easier if they stay on the same track. Uncle ahead into the booster. Q into the booster, still chasing on the same track. I like when all the players go down the same track. Uncle's still in the lead, but Q is in a close second. Down the spiral. And then Uncle into the elevator onto the upper portion of the track, with Q literally right behind. It's a very close game now as we go into the double spinner. The double spinner pushes Uncle and Q both right ahead, and Q actually takes the lead. As we move through the bumpers, Uncle slowed by the bumpers. Q in a significant lead right now. Uncle's still up there. Q all the way down there. Let's come see the action. Q set flying into the abyss. Where did Uncle go? All the way up there. Uncle is trying to navigate the bumpers. And there's more bumpers up here ahead in front of the basket. These are the dangerous kind that can send you flying. And Uncle takes the win by default. So now we're going to do another track. Exclamation point play to get your marble into the race. Alright, this one's called Pixel's Death Alley. Looks like we have an artistic Plinko to go through, and then a straight shot with plungers on the track at random intervals, and then more bumpers and more beaters, and another set of bumpers, swingers, whatever you want to call them. And then this section of track has even more bumpers. And then another section of swingers. Alright, that's not for me. Let's keep going. And wow, this track is... This is going to be a long one. How many sections of these straight tracks with bumpers into the swingers are there? Q, how many viewers do we have right now? And then another section. And then if you survive all the way to this final section, you've got more bumpers on the track leading into the basket. Now let's head back. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 'How is the record for this track under a minute? It's a long track. 6. So we have to survive 6 trap segments in order to finish. I'm going to go ahead and start the race. We'll start by watching the Plinko. And Q quickly through the Plinko. Uncle a little slower. Q through the first straightaway. Slowed down by the swingers. Q is on the second straightaway. Going through the... Uncle Evie got thrown while I'm trying to chase Q. So Q, if you can survive, then the race is yours. And the camera can't keep up with him. He's moving so fast. The camera's finally catching up to Q. Slowed way down on this set of the swingers, though. But if Q can survive 2 more bumper tracks, then the race is, then he'll finish the race. And Q just got thrown. Where is he coming down? Into the abyss. No winner there. All right, random track. Exclamation point play. On thin ice 2. Let's take a look at this track. So we start in the snow globe with a spinning snowman, and we'll come down out of that into this curlicue section. And then we'll go down these multiple tracks into the snow, first there's a regular spinner. And then the spinning snowflake spinner, which I think has the potential to send marbles flying. Then the sideways snowflake spinner, then down through the funnel. And if you go through the funnel drops straight into the basket. Now let's head back to the snow globe and get ready to start. Elsa would be proud of this track, don't you think? Alright, so no Plinko here, just a snowman. We're about to drop out of the snow globe. I didn't even notice the funnel at the bottom of the snow globe. But it's so white I can't even see. Alright, Uncle Evie is onto the path. Q Collar still stuck in the snow globe. Uncle Evie down the spirals. Uncle Evie down another spiral. Q is still stuck in the snow globe. Uncle Evie's still coming down. And Uncle Evie's going to hit the split track here. Q is finally out of the snow globe, coming down the spirals. Uncle's going down the ramp. Uncle slowed down a bit at the bend. Q is beginning to chase. Uncle's finally moving into the next bit of the track. And is going to get bumped around by the gate, it looks like. Uncle dodged, but has totally lost momentum, giving Q a perfect opportunity to catch up. But Uncle is through there and into the bumpers. Uncle navigates the bumpers with ease as he moves into the snowflake. And the snowflake is gonna... Uncle is still stuck in the snowflake ramp. And Q is coming up. Come on, Uncle. You can do it. I know you can get out of there. Q is now in the snowflake ramp too. It's anyone's guess who's going to leave the snowflake first. And Uncle's finally out of the snowflake and into the other snowflake. And Uncle moves into the next section of track. Q is still snuck in the snowflake ramp. Uncle's going to go down the spirals. Q up to the spinning snowflake. But Uncle's almost done with the spirals and will get a significant lead dropping into the basket funnel. Uncle's in the funnel. Q is on the spirals. Unfortunately, Uncle's got too much momentum and he's shoots, he keeps shooting off the edges of the hole. Who's going to drop first? It's anyone's guess who's going to drop first. Whoever, and it's Uncle through the hole and in the basket. It looks like Q's almost up to the hole. Can Q drop through the hole before time runs out and get second place? Yep. Q took an easy second there. All right, we're going to do another random track. This one's called Hop, Skip, and Jump. Exclamation point play to get into the race. So we're gonna come down the ramp into the funnel, and beyond the funnel, we go into a spinning area, and from there it's into the cannon. And if you're lucky, you'll land in this bowl, which is going to try and block you. And after that, you come out here onto these spinny paths, and then there's some bumpies and a wheel and some bumpers, and finally the basket up here. Of course, it's easy to get second if nobody's competing for third place. So yes, in a race with two people, getting second place is easy. Don't you agree? It looks like this one is starting you closer to the start anyway. Let's go ahead and start. So, down the initial ramp into the funnel. And the speed boost is going to slow down action on the funnel, I think. It looks like Uncle's deeper in the funnel. And Uncle is into the spinner. Both marbles are in the bottom of the spinner now. Q keeps getting thrown around, though. Marbles, you okay in there? Come on, there's a race to run. It looks like both are going to come out of the spinner and into the cannon at the same time. Q gets thrown, lands in the bowl. Uncle lands in the abyss. So Q, still on track, can try to win this race. But first, Q has to go through the spirals. All right, Q, we've been on for about a half hour, and so far just us two. So if by the 45-50 minute mark we don't have any additional viewers participating, I'll go ahead and call it. If we have other racers, then I'll go ahead and keep it going for a little while. Is that agreeable to you? Q dodges the bumpers, clean shot into the basket. All right, so let's do random track. But Q, please, even if you're not going to stay for whoever I raid, at least stick around for the raid itself so you count towards my number, okay? All right, taking flight 2. Let's see what's going on with this track. Exclamation point play to get into the race. So first we come down this wide split track out of the Plinko. And then that's going to go onto this thing that looks like a highway with truck props. And then this thing that looks like an airplane runway. I'm not sure what's supposed to happen from here. I'm not sure where the finish is supposed to be. I'm really confused. Oh. From the side, these tracks have transparency, like you're flying on clouds. That's what I got confused about. So now, past the runway area, there's more cloud tracks going on that I couldn't see from ground level. We'll literally be walking on air with this one. And then the cloud tracks will go down. But it's entirely possible you could miss the jump and fall into the abyss with this one as well. And the cloud track, mostly straight, a little spiral at the end into the basket. Exclamation point play to get into the race. It looks like we do have a third viewer right now. Third viewer, are you going to enter the race? Devin Dallion, welcome to the race. Did I pronounce that correctly? All right, let's go ahead and start this race. And we're going to start with the Plinko. And we're going to drop into the Plinko. All players rushing through efficiently. That's good. And the pack is pretty closely together coming into the first section of Cloud Track. Q and Devin Dallion going that way. Uncle Evie going that way. So it's going to be a little bit ridiculous to follow for a little bit. I'll just do it like this until we have a clear leader. And all players are moving through their spirally cloudy tracks. Uncle Evie onto the straighter portion of the track. Uncle Evie's going to come out of the airport terminal and onto the runway. Uncle Evie first onto the runway, followed closely by Q and Devin Dallion out of the other terminal. But Uncle Evie first on the straight shot down the runway. Devin Dallion and Q fighting for second, a little bit behind. Uncle's gonna launch, and Uncle lands on the cloud track, as do Q and Devin Dallion, who both easily pass ahead of Uncle on the clouds. Devin Dallion in the lead right now, coming into the final spirals. Uncle and Q fighting for second, but Q has a significant lead. And they all get slowed up at the turn here. And Uncle Evie pulls ahead of Q, but they're close. Devin Dallion into the basket for the win. Uncle Evie drops for second with Q a very close third. It looks like 1.6 seconds approximately was the difference between second and third. That was close. All right. May I call you Devin, by the way? All right, let's go ahead and queue up for the next track. This one's called Frozen 2. We've been getting a bunch of these winter-themed ones today. Exclamation point play to get your marble into the race. Devin, thank you for the follow. All right. So after the Plinko, we come through a spirally split track. Eventually come down through some bumpy areas. And this continues to spiral for a bit. Then we drop down a straight shot into the basket. This doesn't look too hard. It's a multi-tier spirally split, though. We'll be up here for a while. Exclamation point play to get into the race. All right, exclamation point play. Last call. I'm going to start the timer in a moment. All right, let's begin the race. All right, we're going to drop into the Plinko. It's anyone's guess who's going to come out of the Plinko first. And it's Uncle out of the Plinko, but with Q in a close second. It's going to be a close race through the spirals, I think. We're going to come down these spirals. It's hard to say. It looks like Uncle's a little slightly ahead on his spiral. But why is Uncle backtracking? Yeah, Uncle went backwards for a bit. Q took the lead. And into the next area, Q got slowed down a little bit coming through the crossing. Uncle straight through the crossing and into the next spirally area. And Uncle's going to come down to the next crossing. Straight through. Q is going to slow down a bit, but gets through. Uncle's in the first set of the slower down bumpers. Meanwhile, on this side, Q is dealing with the other set of slower down bumpers. All right, Uncle's past them and back on the track. And Q's going to pass ahead of Uncle because Uncle decided to backtrack a little bit. And Uncle's still stuck on the crossing. Meanwhile, Q is going to move down into the next set of slower down bumpers. And Uncle is finally on the track. But Q navigates the bumpers quickly. As does Uncle. Both navigated that set of bumpers much more quickly than the first one. Q is coming down onto the straight. And Uncle is going to follow behind as Q goes into the spinning snowflake. Q is having some trouble with the spinning snowflake. But both marbles make it down into this next bend very close. Q in the lead, Uncle in a very close second right now as we move into the final crossing, or what I think is the final crossing. And Uncle lost some time on that. So as we move into the final bend, Q is going to drop into the basket and take the win. And Uncle is going to take a distant second. Wow, that was sloppy. All right, random. All right, we're at the 45-minute mark, so... And it's back down to us 2 viewers. So if we don't have another viewer by the end of this race, I'm going to go ahead and find us someone to raid. Is that agreeable? So exclamation point play to get into the race. This one's called Bongo Boogie, and the name sounds familiar. I think we may have played it on our last session. So we come through the Plinko, and then up the split elevators, and then a jump. Yeah, we played this one last session, but that's okay, because this is, random racing. So down the spiral staircases, and then into this section, and from this, and then a straightaway. Into the final jump into the basket. Actually, there's confirmation we played it before. You can see my name in the corner, meaning I'm the record holder for this stream. We've played it before. All right, let's go ahead and start this race. I don't know what happened to Devin. There's a lot of marbles players who come in for 1 or 2 races and then go. Races is something you can do a couple of when you have a few spare moments and not really get invested in a stream for. Oh, there's 2 Uncle Eevees because one of them is the ghost marble representing my last run on this track. As for our actual race, Q is in the lead, but he's still behind Ghost Uncle. But Real Uncle is significantly behind Q. Q is going to come through the jump. So is Real Uncle. And on this straightaway, Ghost Uncle straight into the spiral staircases. Then Q following Ghost Uncle. And then Real Uncle going down the other side of the spiral staircase, but getting slowed down. We're going to do a jump to the next straight area. Q is in the path, and Q actually pulled Q into the abyss. But Real Uncle. Can Real Uncle finish? No, Real Uncle goes into the abyss as well. Okay, I know I said that was the last one of the night, but I'm not finishing the night on a no-winner race. We're doing one more. Is that okay? I don't want us to end on a DNF. Is that okay? Q, I'm gonna set up one more. All right, this one's called Twists and Turns 2. Exclamation point play to get into the race. All right, so we'll come down the ramp into the funnel, and then we'll come down onto the track. Bumpers, a funnel, some curly cues, another funnel, and then the spinning bumpers into the final spiral into the basket. All right. We're still sitting at only 2 viewers, ourselves included. So if we have no further viewers after this race, we'll go ahead and start the raid. Let's go ahead and start the countdown. We're going to start on the ramp. And we're going into the first big funnel here. It looks like Uncle's trying to navigate gravity, but so is Q. It's anyone's guess who's going to fall first. But it looks like Q is getting down closer to the hole. Uncle is swinging too wide. Yeah, Q is definitely going to, almost certainly going to hit the hole first. Q is in the hole, but Uncle is also in the hole. But Q got a significant lead coming out onto the track. Uncle's finally on the track. Q coming down to the slower bumpers. And Q is into the second. He's into the bowl. It's too steep to be called a funnel. Q is on the spiral track. Uncle is coming through the bowl, but he's still significantly behind Q. Q into this bowl, but he's spiraling a bit much. But he's back on the track. Uncle's still in the bowl. Q on the spiral track. Q is still significantly ahead of Uncle as we move into the final pair of tracks here. Q is going to come down, and he's going to hit the spinning gate. Uncle's going to hit the spinning gate on the other side. And Uncle straight through his gate, while Q gets pushed back by his. And Uncle, who was behind the whole race, is going to, it looks like, steal the win. Q, finally out from his gate. All right. Q, is our viewer count still at 2? Well, no, it's been a week since the last time we did this. So no, that's the first time this week. All right. Q, is the viewer count still at 2? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's find someone to raid. There's a few good musicians on tonight. All right, Q, I'll let you decide because there's a few good musicians on. We have Kyger, you've seen her before. We have Millennial Piano Man, who is one of those piano singers, but it's hard to get a song request in at his stream because he's so popular that his queue is usually 20 plus songs. And then we have a country guitarist named Folky Tonk Boyd. So which do you prefer we raid? I'll let you decide. Millennial? Are you sure? You won't be able to get a request in there. Okay, let's do this. All right, we're rating the Millennial Piano Man. He's very talented. Let's go in there and enjoy some good music. Have a good night. I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow or Thursday. Not sure what. I'll see you soon. And say goodbye to